Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at a new flashlight from WOWTAC. This is the Black Scout Survival version 4 Tactical Flashlight. Cool light. I have, I think, the original one, and I've used it on and off as an EDC light. Definitely a good light to have for emergencies, keep it in a bag, something like that. Here's a quick look at the latest version. You got your end pressure switch, you have a selector switch, and also an activation switch on the side. I'll show you that in a minute. Micro USB rechargeable, Black Scout Survival logo there. Currently on this one I have the red filter, and then you can also put the more aggressive bezel on. I've got that right in front of me. I'll show you that in 1 minute. So let me run through some of the things you get with it. We'll run through the details and then we'll take it out into the night and use it. All right, so what do you get with the light? You get some information about WOWTAC from WOWTAC. You do get this information here, which reminds you to crank down the tail of the light and the head of the light to make sure you're getting a full connection with your battery. You do get instructions, nothing fancy, but multiple languages, and they obviously tell you how it works. Micro USB cord. Here's the aggressive bezel, and like I said, I'll show you that what it looks like to put it on in a minute. And then you get an extra couple O-rings, an extra end pressure switch, a lanyard, and an extra cover for the micro USB. Now additionally, you do get a clip, which I've already put on, so you can see you're gonna have about that much sticking out of your pocket. And then if you want to run it in the sheath, you can do that as well. The sheath is nothing to write home about, but it's gonna get the job done. So that's what that looks like. Plastic D-ring on the back. You do have a, it's stitched in, so no hook and loop there, but you can run your belt through that, and then hook and loop there on the front. So I'll show you real quick how to swap this out and put the more aggressive bezel on. Here's a look at the red filter, and I'll show you that at night in a minute, but basically just, you know, twist it off, and then that comes off eventually. I'll pop this in my pocket, and then take the more aggressive bezel, line up the threads. A little bit hard to do with this weird angle I've got, but and now that's on. This thing will come off, but I don't think it's just gonna fall off on you. I mean, once you crank it down, it's on tight. You really do have to put some pressure on to twist it and have it come off. And obviously the idea is, whether it's, you know, trying to break through a window or just keeping someone away from you, that's a good tool to have. So obviously if somebody's coming at you, you've got the light to blind them temporarily. And then this, you know, this tool to the face, I found that in the chest right here too, right in the sternum area, pretty uncomfortable if you get tapped with something like this at a pretty good velocity. So that's what the light looks like. All right, let me give you some of the details on the light. Okay, so smooth reflector. The body is aluminum alloy. Let's talk about your outputs. You got a Firefly 0.32 lumens for 56 days, a low 25 lumens for 55.5 hours, a medium 286 lumens for 4.5 hours, a high that's going to start at 1097, and then after 3 minutes it'll drop to 535 lumens. That 535 will run for 136 minutes. Your turbo, which is 1,785, and then it'll drop down to 485. That's gonna go 2 minutes at that high level and then drop down to 134 minutes at 485. You also have a strobe, which is 935 lumens, and that's gonna run for 148 minutes. Your max distance throw is gonna be 322 meters, impact resistant to 1.5 meters, and IPX8 rated, so good down to 2 meters. So let me give you some initial thoughts on the light. For some people, the size of this is gonna be too big. I don't mind the size of this. My standard go-to for this size is a couple different lights. I got one from PowerTac. It's like the E5R, I think, which is a little bit smaller, but not that much. And then the Phoenix PD35R TAC is another light that's about this size that I like to EDC. I don't know if I'll swap out this one and get rid of my old one. We'll see how that goes, and I compare the two in the future. I can tell you that this thing it feels solid when you pick it up and hold it. I do like the fact it's got an end pressure switch. When you hit that end pressure switch, it's gonna come on at your turbo level, right? So if you wanna go onto Firefly, you're gonna hold down the side switch, and that'll come on at Firefly, which is obviously extremely low. And then low, medium, high with your side switch. So hold it down, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. If you double tap, it'll go to turbo there. So there's turbo. If you triple tap, it's a little bit awkward angle here, but triple tap, it'll go to your strobe. So strobe warning. And there's that. Plug it in to charge it with the USB. You've got that little hole there in the middle. When it's red, it means it's charging. When it's blue, it means it's fully charged and ready to go. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the details. Again, I like the size of it. I like an aggressive bezel. I like that you can swap it out for the red one. I've been using a red filter a lot at home recently, just as I've been moving around at night in the house. Easier on your eyes, saves your night vision a little bit more, and you don't need a ton of light. You just kind of move around the house. If I'm out in the woods, it's like really dark. I'm looking for something. Maybe you need another level of, you know, that non-red light, the normal LED output is what you want. But for me, just moving around the house at night, I'm not creeping, I'm not sneaking, I'm just trying to move quietly. That red filter has been good to use. One other thing I want to mention here real quick, just to show you, it does come included with it, is your battery. It's a 3100 milliamp hour 18650 battery, 3.6 volts. So it does look like it might be one of those 21700s. I think when you look at it, it's a little bit bigger as far as what the diameter of the light looks like, but it is an 18650, which is good because you can swap those out for other 18650s if you want to do that in the future. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of a time warp now. Last night I took footage of the light in use, so we're gonna show you that footage now and talk through some of my experience with it, and then I'll come back here present day and give you my final thoughts on the light. Okay, we're inside now, and I'm gonna show you the different outputs for the light. We'll start off at the firefly setting. So just to show you that it is actually on, there's my hand at the firefly setting, shining it over at the door now. You can see a little bit of the reflection coming back. Let's go low, medium, high now. So here's the low output. Certainly you can see fine inside this room. When I'm shining it at the door, you can't see all the way over to this wall completely, but I can still see quite well. If there's anybody in this room, I'd definitely be picking up on it. So this is low, let's go medium. So here's medium now, obviously even more light, let's go high. There's the highest output, really washing out the camera now. Absolutely a ton of light for this small room. I'll show you the turbo now, even brighter. And if you look, let me bring it down to a lower output here real quick. When you see the actual, the shape that the light is putting out, you can, oh, my dog is walking away there. But you can actually see there's kind of little, sort of a bump there in the shape of the output. That's due to the aggressive bezel. If you do take the aggressive bezel off, as I'm doing right now, you get more of that large round output. Definitely a hotter center in this light as you see it. Let's actually show you the strobe real quick. So strobe warning. So here's a quick look at the light at the highest output with the red filter on inside. Here's low. There's medium. There is high. And now I'll show you strobe with the red filter on, so strobe warning. And that's what it looks like testing it out inside. Okay, what I'm going to do now is use the same target for the light, which is my white minivan, and right now it's 15 feet away, and we're just going to go through the different outputs, and we'll back up another 15 feet, another 15 feet, etc. So here's the firefly setting, looking at the minivan. You can pick up a little bit of the reflection there. Let's go low, medium, high, turbo. So here's low, medium, and then high. Now we'll go to turbo. And now we'll go to strobe, so strobe warning. Okay, we're going to skip firefly since we're now back at 30 feet, but we'll go low, medium, high and show you what that looks like. Then we'll show you turbo and strobe as well. So here comes low at 30 feet looking at the minivan. This is medium, and here comes high. This is high. Now let's show you the turbo. And now here's strobe. Okay, back at 45 feet, looking at the minivan, low, medium, high, turbo, and then strobe. Here's low. Going up to medium. Now I'll show you high. There's high. And then here comes turbo. Again, you can see kind of the curved nature of the output due to the aggressive bezel there. Now I'll do strobe here. Okay, back at 60 feet, we'll do low, medium, high again. Here's low. I can definitely see better than what you can see on camera, but it's still quite light. And when I'm shining it at the minivan, I could see probably out behind it 10 feet or so, but definitely would want more output if I was concerned about something else that might be in that general area. So once again, this is low. Let's go medium. So there's medium. It does tend to look quite blue on the camera. I don't think it's as blue in person, but yeah, just a note there. So that was medium. Let's show you high. Here's your high output. Now I'll show you turbo. Definitely has a hotter center, and I can feel the light starting to get quite warm actually on me. When I'm shining it at the back of the minivan, the back tire, I can see all the way to the front of it, and then I can see probably about 20 feet or 15 feet out behind it. Show you strobe here real quick. Okay, now I'm going to head over to behind the minivan so you can see what it looks like shining the light back at the camera. All right, so this light is certainly usable out in the woods, but I would say it's built more for tactical applications, and pressing the end pressure switch is going to put you on at that highest output. So let me just, I'm going to use this kind of some quick on-offs and move around a little bit so we can see what it would look like to use it in, you know, more of when I'm moving, I need a lot of bright light. I need to pick something up really quickly at nighttime. So I'm looking at in my side yard, I'm looking at the fence right now. So all of a sudden, let's say I just put the light on. Certainly can see everything quite well. Okay, lights off. Let's say I'm walking up to the side here. Okay, I got my other lights coming on now. So I'm looking here in the woods, off. Come back over on the driveway. Let's say I'm looking at a car or in between the cars. Walking out here towards the yard. Front yard, looking at about 60 feet away where I just had the camera set up. It is definitely quite warm at this point, using it on the that highest output, that turbo setting. So that's what it looks like in my hand, just shining it out into the woods. So it's definitely not hot to the point where I need to put it down, but it is, I can definitely feel the heat coming off of it at this turbo setting. Let's just kind of walk up the side yard. I think the note said don't use it at this setting for more than 10 minutes. So I think I just heard something in the woods over here. Let's see if we can maybe spot what that was. Again, we're at the highest setting here. Don't see anything in the woods. Shine it down the side yard here. Definitely something up in this tree. I can hear it squeaking, but I can't find it. So this whole time the light's been at the highest setting. I haven't seen a drop in the output, but I think it said 10 minutes, and you should you know, turn it off. So we definitely haven't been going for 10 but we're getting a lot of output at this this high setting. Okay, we're back here to wrap up talking about the WOWTAC Black Scout Survival version 4 Tactical Flashlight. First off, price point right now at the time of this video is about 60 bucks on Amazon. So you're gonna get the light, you're gonna get an 18650, you get all the goodies as far as the charging cord, the sheath, holster, I guess some people call it, all the extra O-rings and things like that. So for what you're paying, I think that's pretty good. That's quite a good deal. To get coming up on 2,000 lumens with that, you know, at the turbo output, I think is, for that price, is good. To get a battery included is definitely a win. If you got this without a battery, I would say that's a bit much. I do like the light overall. I'm still in my mind saying, okay, this one versus the other one. I think the other one had a little bit more contour to the shape, but actually I think I like this one a little bit more. I may scuff it up a little bit on the side so that so I have a little more grip on it. As far as the texture, it does have some texture for some extra grip, but I would like to see it a little bit more aggressive, just so I feel like I had a really strong grip on it. As I was saying last night, it did get warm after I was using it for a while. I didn't have any major issues. I did run it for quite a while at different outputs, and then I had to put it down for, I don't know, probably 3 minutes, and then it cooled down enough to use again. For some people, they were like, oh, I don't want that to happen. I'm actually kind of glad it happened, because A, it showed me how I can use it, and, you know, should I keep it more at the medium setting, or how often I'm going to use it at the high setting, straight. The other thing is that it showed that when it cools down, it jumps back into working, which is good. It's got a built-in mechanism, so it's not going to fry all your circuitry, which I think is definitely a win. I tend to not speak a ton about customer service for ThruNite, Olight, WOWTAC, other companies like that, because I work with them. And so if I have a light that goes down, they're more quickly to respond effectively to me, because I'm reviewing a product. So I haven't had any issues with WOWTAC as far as their customer service. I haven't had any major issues with their lights at this point. So I'd be interested to hear from you guys with other Black Scout survival lights or other WOWTAC lights, what your experience has been for customer service. If you guys watch me, you know that I prefer an end pressure switch. I'm still kind of torn if I would want an end pressure switch that you could cycle through different outputs, or if I prefer end pressure switch and then this side switch to go through some of the different settings. But I do like, you know, if I want the max output just for a minute to be like, okay, I'm coming out of the car, I'm walking into the house, I just want to see what's going on in the yard, boom, I can shine this. I'm not trying to find the little light on the side. For me personally, I'd like to see this rubberized as opposed to just this smooth metal. It's just easier to locate in the dark with my hand at night, but that's me. EDC, yeah, I definitely EDC it. Putting it in the sheath or the holster, and then having this in a car or in a bag, I think is another good option. I think this is a really good bag light and everyday carry bag light, because it's not massive, but it still does have a nice amount of light. Now, I mentioned the Phoenix PD35 TAC. You'll have a wider variety of options, because it's got kind of like the outdoors option versus the tactical options. But it's coming in around the same price, about the same size. So you compare that light and this light, and you can see this one, you're gonna pay a little bit more for that one, I think, but this one has some very similar features. So you have to decide what you're looking for in the features. That aggressive bezel, I think, is definitely a win. The fact that you have a red filter is definitely a win as well. And the fact that it's micro USB rechargeable, I think that's definitely a win too. I mentioned this in the past, but like PowerTac has a proprietary plug. You have to pull out the port on the plug, and then you can use the micro USB. Our proprietary plug, same thing with Olights. Like, I get it, but a lot of people have micro USB, or USB-C is definitely more popular these days. Like, I just prefer that rather than a proprietary one. Even if you find a way to make it magnetic, I think that could be a win. But basic USB or micro USB, I think, is the best way to do it. Just they're the easiest to use and the most accessible at this point. So again, once again, the WOWTAC Black Scout Survival version 4. I do like the light. I have not used the aggressive bezel to take down some enemy or bust through a window, but I do like the fact that it comes on the light, and then you can swap it out, like I said. And the output for what I need and whatever I was looking for last night in that footage, you know, something up in the tree. I had this thing on that turbo level for a while, and it never shut itself down from the heat. So I would say that's definitely a win. But let's hear your thoughts as you've seen it in use, as you hear me talk about it. Especially if you own one, I want to hear your thoughts and your feedback on this latest light coming out to us from WOWTAC. All right, guys, thanks as always for checking out the videos. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.